It is time to finish our bears. We're going to do kind of a combination of things today. And I know everybody's got different materials at home. You might have markers, you might have crayons, you might have watercolors, you might have all kinds of stuff like that. But I'm going to show a really fun. Ooh, Mr. Galloway lost a hair. I'm going to show a really fun way to use a combination of materials today to make our bear look really fun and cool. If you don't have crayons and watercolor at home and you just want to color this in a different way, that's okay. But I want to show a really cool thing you can do with watercolors and crayons together. So if you do have crayons and watercolor, get them out. If you don't and you just want to color in your bear, that's cool. Now, we're first of all going to color our scarf in a beautiful pattern. When you do your scarf, I want you to follow some rules, okay? Each little section, you're allowed to have 2 or 3 colors, and that's all. All right, so let's say this first part, I'm gonna make mine a Christmassy sweater, so maybe I'll pick green and red for this first part. And I'm gonna color it nice and dark and pretty and smooth, however I want, with only these 2 colors. So I'm just gonna go green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, green, red, all the way down. Now, to make our scarf stay funky and be cute, here's what I want you to do. When you're coloring it in, I want each section to have different colors than the ones beside it. So when I color this section, I just used green and red. So on this one, I'm not allowed to use green and red. I can use any other 2 colors I want, but no green, no red. So maybe Mr. Galloway will use blue and purple. That'd be pretty. So maybe I'll color in the main part blue. And then I'll color my little sweekles purple. Ooh, this looks cool. Now this one, guess what? It's not touching green and red anymore, so if I wanted to use green and red in this one, I could, but I cannot use purple and blue. So that's how we're gonna color in our scarf. I want every section to use different colors than the one that's touching it. Okay, so maybe I'll use green and orange on this one, and I'll color it in some fun little patterns. But you get the idea. I want every section to be colored a little different than the ones that it's touching. So that's kind of how we do that. I'll take just a second and finish coloring in my scarf with different colors in each section. So give me a second to finish that. So I've got my scarf colored in really pretty. And it looks really cool with all these bright colors popping out and every section being different. I think that looks really fun. I would wear a scarf like that. Now for our bear's fur, watch this. We're gonna think about what color we want our bear to be. Okay? So first we're gonna stew on it for a second, and I'm gonna be like, maybe it's a brown bear. Or maybe it's a black bear. I'm gonna let you pick. But what I want you to do is take some crayons, like I'm gonna make my bear brown. I'm gonna take some crayons, maybe brown and orange, And I'm just gonna put some little brown and orange furry lines about my bear. Just these little dashes to make him look like you can see some of his fur, and it'll look really cute in just a second. So I went over with brown, and then maybe I'll go with orange and put some different color going through. But I can kind of fill his fur with brown and orange. I guess I should do his ears too. Ooh, I'm gonna make his ears kind of come out in like almost like a little radial design, like a sun kind of. That would look really cute. Yeah. So nice, so fluffy, so cute. And maybe for his eyebrows, I'll just kind of actually color them in, his eyelids, not his eyebrows, with a brown, just like this, to make it cute. All right, now I've got my little furs on him. Now watch this. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna do something with our paint that's gonna make it look so cool. And that is called a resist. Viva la. Oh, sorry. So we're going to paint over our bear's fur, but the waxy crayon is going to resist the paint. And if you don't know what resist means, it means kind of like to push back, to give away, to push away. So the crayon is going to say, "Get off me." The watercolor and the crayon used to be friends, but nowadays they don't really get along. And when they play on the playground, sometimes if the paint gets too close to the crayon, they start pushing each other, and it's just not a good thing. So, but if you watch, if I take this watercolor and I paint it over where I have crayon, the crayon, ooh, that's so cool, is going to push the watercolor off, and you can still see all of those lines, even though we're painting over it. So I want to paint in my little bear, and you can just watch. It looks so fun. I love it. Here, let me get up close so you can see what I mean. See how watch, it just pushes it off. You see, it's like, get off me. So all those little fur lines you made are still going to show up and look really cool when we paint our bear. Okay, so if you paint over where we've drawn some of the crayon, I'm leaving his eyes white, but I can paint over the rest. It's going to give it that really cool look where our furry texture still shows up, and it's going to make our picture all the cuter. Let me go like that. Now, got my little bear starting to be painted, like so. Yes. What I want to do next is his little nosy nose. I might get a lighter color, like maybe this orangey color, and paint that. That didn't come out the color I was wanting, but maybe I'll mix a little of the brown with it, make it kind of a lighter brown. That would look cute. There we go. Put some of this more orange with it, so I like it more. Cute. And then maybe I'll get a pinky color for inside his ear flappies, like so. And I can color his hat whatever color I want. Maybe he's wearing a green Christmassy hat, like so. Now, one final, oh, I like that color. It's a pretty color. One final epic touch to make our picture look even better. We're going to do something really fun with the sky. If you have crayons that have a white crayon in them, you can do something really cool with this resist technique. So watch, I'm going to take my crayon, my white crayon, and I'm going to put some little white falling snow all around my paper. And right now, I cannot see it because I'm coloring with a white crayon on top of white paper, and white shows up on white like a polar bear in a snowstorm. It just does not show up at all. You don't see it whatsoever. I could even draw some invisible little snowflakes twinkling in the distance, and you will never know they are there. And you might forget where you've drawn some, and maybe you're going to draw over those same places and you won't even know it, but that's okay. So I went around and I drew some little white snowies all over my paper, okay? Now what I can do is if I get a blue paint, if I get a nice blue, using that same resist technique, when I start painting, guess what's gonna happen? All the places where I painted a white snowflake or a white snowball are going to suddenly show up, and my falling snow is going to be visible at last. So all those fun little snowballs you painted are going to resist the paint and push it off, and you get all this cool falling snow in your picture. See what I mean? See how it's pushing it off? Oh, I love it. So cool. So we could make a fun little snowy picture like that. This is probably the most adorable picture I've painted all day. I love it. So we can make a fun little bear painting like that, and using our resist technique, we can really make it look super cute. If you wanted to, watch this. If I were to take a color, like maybe I'll get this nice purple color, and I paint it over my scarf, it does not even work. You see what I mean? Because that crayon pushes the paint off, and it's like, nah, I'm good. I'm already colored. So it's kind of cool. It's a really neat style. Now, if you don't have white, let's say you don't have white crayon, and you wanted to do something kind of like that, you could take a yellow, and you could put little stars, or maybe a little moon in your sky. And then when you go over it, if you use a black or a purple or a dark blue, you can make kind of a nighttime picture, and that would look really cool too. Okay? So even if you don't have white, you can still use this in your background and make it look really cute. So I hope you had fun drawing your bear and coloring him and finishing him. I cannot wait to see how beautiful these end up, and we'll go from bear